my beautiful people, we are here today in Durham at the Women's Equality March, and we are here to support them and also women just like me who want to stop the injustices of having gender inequalities, whether it's in jobs or whether it's economic or whether it's even in your home. We want to be able to come together and say that we are equal and we deserve to have equal rights as well. So let's get into it.
I am worthy of respect over my decisions. I am worthy of respect of my body. I am worthy of respect of my vote. As Beyonce just recently put some respect on my check. Okay, I really want us to understand how this inequity and inequality here in the United States affects people on a daily basis. I am a Durham Public Schools teacher. I teach all girls. Upon them things that aren't just on our unit map and our curriculum, but things that they can actually use to apply. And my favorite unit when teaching is statistics and probability. So here is one statistic for you to leave with today. Assuming that the wage gap among different race categories was actually closed, a woman could afford 14 more months of child care. Anybody here have a baby in daycare? My hand is up because I have one. 14 more months is the equivalent of me and my husband paying off, I think, 10% of our mortgage. Yeah. Next one. Now, I was a greedy child, so I ate a lot. My single mother was able to provide for my sister and I so that I could continue to be a greedy adult as well. But in a family of 4 people, a woman, if her salary was adjusted to be that of a white male counterpart, regardless of race, she can afford 74 more weeks of groceries. That's a year and a half.
Right.
I told y'all I was greedy. Now, my mom, she might have gotten a year and a half more, but maybe 15 weeks. When we talk about equity, the people who these numbers represent mean more to me than anything else. As startling as they are, this is the reality when we look any person we see on the street in the face. Now, that's the average, right? So we're talking about race. Imagine for a black woman who is only paid, 63 cents to the dollar, or a Hispanic woman who is paid less than a Native American woman who is also. Imagine what the wage gap, if it wasn't actually closed, could provide for ourselves, for our families, and for our people. And that is why today is extremely important, not only to commemorate white women getting the right to vote, but to commemorate and to commend those who do what they do on a daily basis with pennies, literally. Thank y'all so much. This is what community looks like. 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 This is what community looks like.
My son and I are here at the Women's Equality, supporting black women. He's supporting us. This is what support looks like. Teach them in the way that they are supposed to go. Teach them the right way. Teach them how to be young men. We women are accountable to that. Put out there. Worthy!
by your naming of me. Everybody knows black don't crack. And also, lest you forget that yes, you named me colored. And so too is the rainbow. A reminder of God's love and presence in the bleakest of times, rising high above your head. But I guess you already knew that. Because that must be your obsession with what's between my legs, looking for my pot of gold. Don't be alarmed by my words, honey. I'm not trying to be rude. My short natural crown is not a sign of my militance. Oh no, baby. I'm just using some of that God-given black girl magic. I'm using it to elude you, while I stand tall looking down upon the infant that you so clearly appear to be.
Healer Allen, and I'm co-founder of Higher Heights. And Higher Heights is a national organization focused on harnessing the political power of black women from the voting booth to elected office. Because as we have seen in election after election, black women make the difference, black women lead, and most importantly, black women vote. So we are working this year to make sure that black women come out in record numbers, and not just ourselves, but that we mobilize our networks. We talk to our neighbors, our friends, our allies, to make sure that everyone participates, because the only way our democracy really functions is if each and every person exercises their right to vote and holds their elected leaders accountable. So we have launched our Black Women Vote campaign for 2018. Haven't had much sleep. And we are working to put together a national night of sister-to-sister salon conversations where we can bring together black women across this country and to talk about the challenges and opportunities for exercising their right to vote and increasing their civic participation. So on October 2nd, we will be holding 100+ salon conversations across this country. We will be headquartered here in North Carolina with 25 salon conversations, as well as in places like Georgia and Ohio and Texas, places where we know that black women are that margin of victory, not just in places like Alabama, where we showed up and showed out in record numbers, but also in places like Ohio and Virginia, where the margin of victory comes down to the number of black women voting. So that is a story that is not being told in the national media, so we took it upon ourselves to start this organization to tell our story and bring along as many people as possible, because it's not just for black women to come to the polls. It makes our democracy better for all Americans. When we have a reflective democracy that really takes into account all of the issues and challenges and concerns of the entire elect, able to make sure that our elected officials are walking unbought and unbossed in the spirit of Shirley Chisholm, and being able to really speak truth to power and bring more voices, votes, and leadership, and make sure that black women's votes and voices, votes, and leadership truly matter in American discourse. So thank you all so much for having me. Please stop by.
So, good evening. I'm Erin, and I was asked to talk a little bit about voting, and so I want to share some information about that, and then I actually had a speech that I wanted to share with you guys. So I'll start with voting. Everybody knows that the election is on November the 6th, right? And everybody knows that on November the 6th, that we have some constitutional amendments on our ballot. Are we all aware of that? All right, and these amendments are designed to allow the legislature to consolidate their power over the judiciary. That's one of the reasons for these amendments. And then, of course, the other reason, the income tax cap reason, is to steal, I believe, what is common to the people and privatize our funding and give it away to corporations so that the 1% can continue to profit. And so I guess I want to come first and just say to everybody, be really concerned about them. Study them. They actually put these amendments on our ballot without drafting the full-on legislation. So they want you to vote for them, and then they'll tell you what the details are later, sort of like asking you to buy a car but not look under the trunk, not look under the hood. And so we're real concerned about that. And we want to invite everybody to say no to anything that this particular legislature puts on our ballot, because they continue to show us over and over and over again how much they don't care about working people, how much they don't care about women and our right to choose, how much they don't care about our water and our air, and they allow Duke to poison it, and then they tell us to pay for it. We really should be concerned about anything that they put on any ballot that we have to sign. So just study very carefully. Be concerned. Wonder. Don't sign a blank check. I don't know what else to say about it, but I do want to say that. And I think that's real important for us all to be clear on. And then as I was sitting here thinking about the other thing that I wanted to say, Cynthia Brown came to me. And Cynthia Brown, everything that she's done for all of us. So she's talked to a group of about 200 women, and this was in Greensboro. And she said a bunch of things. But at the very end of it, as she's speaking to us, I'm going to read what she said, okay? And so the first thing she said, and these are words from Cynthia Brown, she said that our political organizing can't end with this election cycle, because we understand clearly that if we're not at the table, then we're on the menu. We have to work our work will require ongoing organizing, education, mobilization, organization, coalition building, designed to increase the number of women who have the capacity to participate in the political process on an ongoing basis. And we have to be engaged throughout the term of office of our elected officials so we can hold them accountable. The other thing that she said is that we have to remember that the conditions of the poorest of us are the conditions to which all of us in this system can drop into at any economic crisis. And that too many political organizations that work on these issues continue to ignore the conditions of the working class and the poor. And that if we don't have a mass movement making sure that we're getting a living wage, and that we're building programs to support people when they can't work, and making sure that economic development strategies are in place to ensure for them to ensure adequate care and work for them, that all of that work is critical. And then the other thing that I want to say, then this was one of the last things that she said in this, and she said this: we have to stop allowing race, class, sexual orientation, and other identities from being used against us to undermine our solidarity. And when we allow some of us to be expendable, we all become expendable. Women's history is replete with examples of women losing momentum because enemies of women's progress, some of those who have been women, have understood too clearly how to divide us. And so I just want to say, stand together. I want to say vote no on every amendment. I want to say center the people most impacted in our work all the time. And then I want to just say that I love y'all and I appreciate y'all, and keep the fight right.
Right, my beautiful people, we are at the end of the day. I am headed back to Raleigh from Durham. We went to, my son and I, Justice, he supported us for the Women's Equality March today. Deuces, he's doing, I don't know, a little piece. But anyway, so we had a good time. We were out there talking amongst each other, women getting together, fighting for the same cause of socioeconomics. We want better pay. We want to be able to get our voices heard. We want to be able to vote. And so therefore, it's about time to get involved. Although it was Women's Equality Day and the march was for women, men were there supporting us as well. That was the beautiful part of it. That men were there, young children were there, so that you are able to teach them and train them in the way that they should go. So I want to tell you, today was beautiful. This place is a must-have.